Welcome to the high altar of Munster rugby in front of an adoring congregation. Treviso, the supposed sacrificial lambs, but they may take quite some catching after a huge performance against the French champions Perpignan in what must surely be their finest ever win in the Heineken Cup. Treviso will now have an invigorating injection of confidence to challenge for the points in the most difficult European cauldron of all, bar none. Munster have not been playing well, but this is Thomond. This is a must-win game, and this is a home team that delivers when the pressure is on. Familiar faces, undoubted pedigree, both individually and collectively. Jerry Flannery, though, tore his calf on Tuesday, so Dennis Fogarty gets a rare chance to play Heineken Cup rugby at Thomond Park. No John Hayes, still banned, so Tony Buckley continues at tight head. The back five continue as one. O'Callaghan, Quinlan, Wallace, Dennis Leamy, and of course Paul O'Connell, the Lions icon, the Munster linchpin, captain once more. It's Maffei and de Villiers that have been the centre of attention, still finding their way, still gelling. As for Treviso, a week on from their slaying of Perpignan, just one change, that being the Australian Sevens international, Brendan Williams, coming in on the right wing. Over half the team are Italian internationals, interspersed with some useful players. Winger Andy Vilk is the England Sevens captain. Lock Cornelius van Zyl was singled out by Paul O'Connell this week as one to watch. He called him the chief line-out operator when he was at the Cheetahs, when it was the best line-out in the Super 14. Plenty of respect for a side that'll go at Munster hard. Dion Kingy and Bam Vermaak are big ball carriers and pose a threat too. As for replacements, well, plenty of been-there, done-it players for Munster, from the likes of Mick O'Driscoll, over 10 years European rugby to his name, to Peter Stringer, 91 Ireland caps. But it's Treviso that boasts the most successful club player in either 23, Fraser Waters, twice a Heineken Cup winner, 3 times a domestic winner, coming back from a groin injury today. So Treviso never beaten an Irish team. The last time they tried here in 2003, they were pumped 51-0. This is a much better side, brimming with hope. Can they do the improbable? How they'd love to stick one on Munster. In theory, it's a great chance. They've just beaten the French champions. And Munster have lost their last 2. But, and it's a big but, this is Thomond, and Munster are a superb outfit.
All to do for Treviso this afternoon. Munster, they've lost their last 2. They do not do defeat, and they certainly don't even contemplate it here at Thomond Park. There's a man, Marius Goosen, a veteran now in this Treviso number 10 shirt, and he'll want to keep the ball in front of his forwards, that wise head giving them structure and shape.
As for Munster, questions about their form, about the set piece, about this year's campaign. Time to deliver.
And John de Villiers, the big expensive signing over from South Africa, and yet it hasn't really clicked so far, but this is a perfect opportunity. It's his first appearance in front of the Thomond Park faithful, and he will want to put a good show on, and the crowd here will also want to give him a good reception. There you see Dennis Fogarty coming in for Flannery, and as one door opens, or another, as one door closes, another one opens, and a big opportunity for Fogarty.
Paul O'Connell with final words in his 50th Heineken Cup appearance. The referee is Jerome Garces. Quite a test for any referee here in Thomond. Munster had Christophe Berdos last week for their Northampton game, and you get the inkling that Munster may have felt that some decisions may have been lost in translation. As we say, conditions are perfect. It's warm, it's dry, just a breath of wind, and 26,000 to watch this theatre. The sun has come out. There's great expectation for this game in this, the 15th year of Heineken Cup rugby. Entertainment, passion, nerves continue to grow, and we are off. Clean start for Munster. No, Leary pumps this one high. Spoke to Franco Smith just before kickoff, and he was saying, off the back of that win last week, there is a glimmer of hope. They now do believe when, if they were being honest, they wouldn't have done previously. Treviso travel to try and steal points any which way. They know Munster have been unconvincing. Munster have accepted they have. O'Connell was forthright, saying last week there was a soft try for Geraghty. They conceded penalties. He said our scrum was in trouble and we gave up easy points. Franco Smith would be aware of all the opportunities, but he said there's one enemy, and that is Thomond.
Certainly that Treviso victory last week over Perpignan, if there was any chance of complacency, and generally Munster don't do complacency, but if there was any chance at all coming to this match, that victory over Perpignan last week just threw it away. And certainly Munster, there's an edge of nervousness. They know that they have to get a performance, and equally Marius Goosen needs to take every opportunity he gets this afternoon.
Yeah, trailing behind the highest Heineken point scorer of all time, Ronan O'Gara, of course. He's a sort of 70% man, Goosen, including 3 crucial penalties last match. First chance for him then. Didn't hit it sweetly, did he? And O'Gara has time to rifle that one upfield, but only as far as Williams. Quinlan looks for it and takes. No real challenge in the air. And they're deciding to run it. Maffey straightening over halfway. This is better from Maffey. Still looking to gel with de Villiers, and that'll make him feel good. Munster beginning to cut Treviso. O'Gara, Leamy whipping it out to Quinlan. Knew there was nothing on out wide, so just cuts back in. Leary. O'Connell was lined up and tackled well. O'Gara again. And breaking down then, Horan was coming in on that short line.
Just a little bit of breakdown in communication there between O'Gara and Marcus Horan, allowing Treviso slightly off the hook.
Howler. No! Interesting clearance. Howler, 62 caps, 49 tries for New Zealand.
Lots of ambition from Munster. Got the ball in the wide space for Lafemi Maffey, and he looked up and saw he was against the Treviso prop number 3, Fernandez Rouillet, and made good ground on the outside.
Giordini going to the tail. Zani managed to find quite a few meters there. Quinlan was waiting, no change there. And Munster will be pleased about that. Unconvincing at the breakdown at times. Sanzato is challenging, and there was de Villiers, South Africa's most capped centre. The crowd, the players, the coaches, all willing de Villiers to click as quickly as possible.
De Villiers did well under the high ball because O'Gara was under pressure, but this is the turnover. O'Connell getting in on the ball and stealing it. But O'Gara was under pressure on the high ball, I think, from Cornelius Van Zyl, up in his face, lost a bit of distance, but de Villiers did very well in getting the ball back.
And also questions about Munster scrum last week, and possibly this as well. And this is not ideal. No. Flannery not available John Hayes is still banned, so Buckley and Fogarty thrust in there to join Marcus Horan.
Well, in the last couple of games, something that really has rarely happened in the past, the Munster set piece has been questioned, both at line-out and also at scrum time. And you see Treviso really putting the pressure on. We've got an Italian international front row here for Treviso, and if they're on the back foot, they're making life very difficult for Dennis Leamy at the back, and big question marks over Tony Buckley coming out at tight head, whether he can actually do the same job, because you look at the experience there. Munster 387 appearances in the Heineken Cup, so they've all been there before, but they are missing that man there, John Hayes.
Had his ban reduced by a week, but he will be back just before Ireland versus Australia. They've selected, of course. Zemanzato deciding to work to the short side over the gain line, and solid scrum from Treviso, settling into their game. 6 minutes gone. Early signs that Munster maybe can be exploited in a couple of areas. It'll give Treviso hope. That's the second time that Munster have been abrasive at the breakdown. Turnover just earlier, and now the penalty.
I think it was Captain Paul O'Connell again. They're getting in, and I think we're getting a sense of how this match is going to unfold. Nothing too fancy from Treviso. Very solid at the set piece, and just keeping the ball in the pack, just trying to make extra yards and pressurise Munster into making mistakes, but Paul O'Connell not having any of it, and that's his second valuable contribution in terms of turnovers in the opening 6-7 minutes.
Yeah, just his second start, easing his way back into the season after his Lions tour. So Fogarty, who had a challenging time against Leinster a couple of games ago, will feel pleased that he's hit the red target to start with. Treviso trying to snuff this one out, but the body's all in the right way. Howlett waiting on this near side, wanting that crossfield kick, but you just get the feeling that the forwards are a little bit greedier for the moment. Now it comes. O'Gara does come across to Howlett. Howlett wanted him, and it was beautifully weighted. Cut inside from Howlett. Superb. Oh, it was so close, couldn't quite find Warwick. That was nearly the first try.
Well, you can hear the crowd there just willing this team to score some points, just to relieve the tension that's in the air here. And again, it was pinpoint accuracy from Ronan O'Gara, putting the crossfield kick in. And it just didn't work out on the outside channel. But beautiful. Howlett had gone out wide. Again, this ball had just gone now. Paul Warwick would have been in.
Spotlight falling on Ghiraldini now. 20+ caps for Italy. O'Connell poised at the front. But O'Connell talked about Van Zyl and his quality as a line-out operator, and it was Van Zyl that took it there. Zemanzato. Safe clearance, but this is the red zone, this is Munster, and it's their line-out.
Yeah, Zemanzato coming under pressure from Dennis Leamy and Alan Quinlan there. And a hallmark of Munster rugby is when they get into opposition 22s, invariably they come away with points.
Van Zyl's turn with his forwards to try and hurt the Munster lineup, but no jump there, just accepting O'Callaghan's take. On the 22, peeling around. And once again, and the big counter drive there on Quinlan. And Leary, who had that heartbreaking injury just before the Lions tour, to pass it out. And again, O'Gara having a look himself and getting over the gain line.
On the feet.
0-0 is coming up to the 10-minute mark. And Treviso, as they proved last week, are providing a challenge. No Italian side has ever won in Ireland. Treviso have never beaten an Irish side, full stop.
And Ronan O'Gara just got slightly isolated there, but it was the run of Dennis Fogarty inside that just held the inside defence. But you see the tackle being made, the Italian in immediately.
So Treviso, supposedly the rank outsiders in the pool. Perpignan on top of this pool one. Southampton with 4 and Treviso for Munster at the moment with 1. A little bit of trickery there from Earls just to get himself out of trouble. O'Connell, route 1. Makes a couple to bring him down. O'Leary. O'Gara now just hooking it round behind Bill. And he just lets that kick on off the back of the first bounce. Very good clearance by McLean.
Absolutely lovely kick from Ronan O'Gara. Of course, having played here for so long, he knows every blade of the grass. But here we see, in terms of just the distance and the angle, just going right into the corner, stopping just before the line, and Treviso did very well to deal with it, to get the ball in to create a better angle.
Magnificent conditions. Up it goes, it's very high. Treviso have got it. Garcia, Scarby, Williams wanted it, Scarby's got his way past the first one. Williams chipping, and now it's a stretch sprint for the ball. He's very quick, Williams, all very close. Howlett getting back, Treviso really threatening.
Great counter-attacking there, and there was a 2-on-1 for a minute, but in fact, Scarby just actually took Howlett out, Howlett missing the tackle, and Williams chasing up very, very well on his own kick. So being released, slightly speculative, but backed himself and just got on the inside track, inside Ronan O'Gara. And Howlett did well after missing the tackle to get back.
Dougie Howlett's still a top-grade winger, isn't he? In his prime, one of the greatest.
Absolutely, it's amazing coming across here to Munster. Of course, everybody knew about the tries that he could score, but in fact, it's been some of the defensive efforts that he's made actually in the big games here that I think has probably endeared him even more so to this Munster crowd. Has really bought into the shirt and is very much an adopted son of Munster.
So the first Munster scrum, unconvincing to say the very least. Rizzo, Giraldini and Rouet will have a real go now at Horan, Fogarty and Buckley. And Thomas O'Leary, no doubt will be keen to get this ball away. Or try and get a penalty from the referee.
Quickly, okay? Crash! Touch! Pause again! The boss.
Treviso, top of the Super 10 Italian League, current Super 10 champions. Feel they're getting some real momentum in terms of the club, in terms of progressing to challenge the big boys. And the whistle goes Treviso's way. And it's Munster that line up on their line, but not for long. Another scrum has been called.
Treviso fancying their chances, and there's a real tussle between tight head Tony Buckley and Italian Rizzo. Tussle on this side, the bind coming under pressure.
You can imagine Treviso going up Munster in a major way here. There's Buckley, 6'5". Tony Buckley, hey, 6'4". I don't know what they put in the tight as porridge. They are big units, but he is maybe feeling the squeeze a little bit here. And Treviso having a big go at Munster. Picked up from the base, and now Munster try and realign themselves after a very strong scrum from Treviso. So close, and now over. Williams, the first man to score. Thomond Park is silenced. Treviso 5-0.
Well, I think that's the silence is twofold. One, they're really not used to seeing the scrum buckle like this. Tony Buckley under massive pressure from Rizzo, giving him such a hard time there. I mean, the scrum really disintegrating, and the referee had already given a penalty. And here we see again the mismatch. Lovely little step and show. Brendan Williams just going around Marcus Horan. And that will give huge heart to this Treviso team, that they can just simply do the basics well, that their set piece can disrupt, and in the scrum in particular dominate the Munster 8.
Number 14, Brendan Williams, might have his name on the score sheet, but 1, 2 and 3 can take a bow as well. Well, 5-0. A possible 2 to come. Goosen with a tough chance, but just think how Treviso will feel now. That's the angle, and he's yanked that one. But 5-0, and clear dominance in the scrum at the moment for Treviso.
But that missed kick from Goosen, they missed that penalty earlier on in our conversion. That's 5 points away. But that's just an absolutely dominant Treviso pack.
Williams going round Marcus Horan to score that try. And Horan now leaving the pitch. Brunio, the Frenchman, coming on.
Well, they've made a big call very early in the game, but it looks like Marcus Horan is in some discomfort there. It'll be interesting to see. Just what difference Brunio makes to that scrum.
Well, the hearing from the sidelines has been written down as a tactical substitution, and that's very, very early, 15 minutes in from Tony McGann, the offensive coach between 2005 2008, and now gets his shot at leading this team. Nervous times. Munster, who've got a clean sheet of 7 wins over Italian sides, beginning to grind into Treviso now. They got the advantage, but they're not finished yet, and the crowd like it. Up to the 22, and you get the feeling there might be a bit of payback time. One pack on another. Ever closer now. O'Leary darting and going himself. Goosen's got hold of him, advantage still being played. It's simple rugby, it's effective rugby, deep in the 22 as O'Connell takes it up, but the referee says, right, we'll go back for the penalty.
Coming on the side. 10.
You hear the referee. Treviso forced to come in from the side just to try and stem the momentum off that driven lineup. I think a statistic that just flashed up there. Donegal Callaghan has been gone to 4 times in the line-out so far, really easing Dennis Fogarty into play, going straight to the front line out, making sure that they're winning the ball and trying to develop a rhythm. Dennis Fogarty had come in for some criticism against Leinster a fortnight ago. is that Munster else, no talk at all of a bonus point, and just taking their time to find some rhythm and just trying to grind down this Treviso side.
Interesting, Treviso not attacking the Fogarty line out. Fogarty will be pleased he had a free hit at hitting his jumpers. Now then, O'Gara hit the last 5 on the trot, and that was under pressure at Franklin's Gardens. Hasn't managed to slap 3 on the board for Munster this time.
And usually when you come down to Thomond Park, you know, you get the feeling that this crowd are just looking for their team to give whatever opposition team a good old thumping, but there is definite nervousness in the air here. Again, I think the slightly earlier kickoff takes the heat off maybe the intensity. Under floodlights, Thomond Park is a real theatre.
Leary, O'Gara. Little dink through there from Warwick. De Villiers picks it up. Goosen came scything up there. Goosen's trying to get over that ball.
Well, he didn't get back on side quickly enough.
Scrum time. It's a rejigging of this front row already. Buckley on one side, and on the other, Julien Brugnot, the French international.
Stay banding! Stay!
It's more solid. O'Leary, O'Gara running onto that one. Howlett, oh, big handoff! Brilliant from Howlett. Second handoff, struggling to bring down the All Black winger. Munster are beginning to cruise here. Lovely little dink through. Nervous times for Treviso. All from that solid scrum.
Well, it's going to be a TMO decision.
Daniel.
But again, it was a big call to go for the grubber, but once
Daniel,
the grubber went through, there were so many Munster players chasing
Daniel.
up. You just thought it had to be scored. But Treviso got back very, very
Daniel.
well there to get down on the ball, I think.
Daniel.
As Vilke gets his left hand onto it, doesn't he?
Yeah, they did really well because they were outnumbered out wide. Really had to hedge his bets. And you just wonder, given the momentum there, had the ball stayed in the hands, Munster definitely looked as if they had the upper hand.
So it looks like Treviso have escaped. Vilk over the line when he touched that ball.
Daniel. Est-ce qu'il y a ici, oui ou non?
Here, so mobile phones being used.
Daniel. Plutôt toi, yes or no? Daniel? No? Yes?
Lost in translation.
Poor reception.
22, no try.
Daniel?
It is going to be a 22 no try. What's
Okay.
for dinner?
D'accord, okay. No try.
Right,
22.
we got there in the end, and Thomond Park are beginning to sing to try and rouse their heroes. And the ball's been whacked downfield. Up high from Warwick. The crowd like the look of this. Beautifully taken by Goosen, South Africa A player.
Stay back. Stay.
Simonzato just checks who's behind. When it's Williams, he decides to hit this one up himself. And Williams is behind, so maybe not the fastest chasers on the planet. It's cutting in.
Without the ball.
And the push being caught there
You.
by the referee.
Push a player.
It's not
Up
going
to
Munster's
Trump.
way at the moment.
It's not, as they've experienced
Try on, please.
in the last while, it is quite an un-Munster type performance so far. But O'Gara, just again, decision making in the 22. You see 4 players outside him there, but because Treviso actually pushed in the middle, that actually almost cut off that option of getting that ball out into the widest channel. O'Gara left with very little option but to put the grubber through. But he did very well, not only to really force the grubber, but also to get back and stop a Munster score.
So a quarter of the game gone, and Munster's only defeat in 39 games in American court was in 2007 to Leicester. Goosen goes off, so some rejigging for Treviso. That fly half.
That's a big loss for Treviso. He hasn't been great with the boot in terms of the penalty and conversion, but has been excellent under high ball, has kept them on the front foot, has featured fairly heavily in this opening quarter.
So the ex-Chi to Tobias Botez just waits, but
Play on, please. Time on.
Goosen taking his time to come off, and the former captain of Treviso having a final word with his forwards. 5-0, quarter of the game gone. Treviso's penalty and into Munster territory.
He's just come down. Just maybe an elbow from Howlett, maybe coming through. Very unlucky.
Treviso then deciding to push it a little bit wider. Williams nearly got that pass from Scarby, but the ball is still alive. Nicely picked up there. Botez is just on. Simonzato. And the forwards join him. So a scrum just a few metres outside the Munster 22.
That's the first time really off first base that Treviso have put the ball out wide. You see a great offload here from Kingy, taking the tackle from Mafimi Mafi.
Treviso beat Perpignan in filthy wet conditions last week. Their coach says quite happy to play in the nice sunlight here, and there might be a second try coming. Has the slide worked for Vilk? The referee going to the video ref, but Andy Vilk, the England Sevens captain, feels very confident.
Well, he did so well because he actually went down on the ball and gathered it and used the momentum, and it's quite damp out there underfoot.
Beautiful control over try.
Absolutely, a tremendous control and decision from Vilk not to try and put boot to ball.
Muffy's tackle helped with the momentum. 10-0. What a brilliant chip through. And there might be just a few Treviso supporters, but they're thinking, gosh, this trip is worth it.
Well, Thomas O'Leary had got out very quickly into the back line. They've got plenty of numbers, but you just see it just had pulled Paul Warwick up, and Zilk really sighed through. Great pace from the winger, but it was the finish here. Rather than trying to grubber it on, he went down, and as you say, Maffey's tackle actually gave him the thrust there from behind to actually get the ball over the line.
Two tries to nil, 10-0.
And as well as that,
what a dream start.
As well as that, well, there's been 7 points left on the pitch here. This could be 17-0, and Munster really need to get their act together here.
Kingy waits. At times there's a deathly silence here at Thomond Park. No doubt the 26,000 looking up can't quite believe this scoreboard.
Well, Simonzato got pressurised into touch And Munster will be very happy. They get a line out, not too far outside this Treviso 22, and they'll be looking to strike back immediately.
Going to O'Callaghan again. Munster in the league 61 points in the last 2 games. Looking maybe to score the first of their own this afternoon. Wallace steaming upfield. Plenty of numbers as the forwards drive over. So much entertainment end to end. And we're going yet again to the video ref, maybe. No, he's confident it was held up.
Munster must be so frustrated. That's the 3rd time that arguably they could have had a try, but a tremendous run from Wallace. Little step inside, it's so powerful, breaking away from the tacklers. And Munster, his forwards did well to get round him, just giving him a bit more momentum over the line. But good scramble defence from Treviso, and they're just managing to keep Munster out.
It's a perfect position in which to launch an attack. Nearly from Warwick to Earls, knock on. Wasn't the kindest pass from O'Leary.
It wasn't. Warwick did well, but Earls was just loitering behind the scrum, ran a lovely late line, just trying to get on his shoulder. Again, that will just add to the frustration in this Munster side. Chances going a-begging.
Fascinating subplot up front. Nasty shovel ball, and O'Leary was right on top to try and take advantage.
A better scrum from Munster, just allowed O'Leary enough time to get out, because it was difficult between 8, 9 and 10 there.
Munster put it.
Yeah, we see Howlett again just standing behind the scrum deep.
Free kick going to Munster. Will they tap and go? Yep. Leamy. A little bit slower than Munster might have wanted. Again, it is the big boys up front driving towards the line. 10-0 to the visitors, but for how long? O'Leary waiting. Leamy's there. It goes wide. The try surely must come now. The crowd are up. Warwick the spot.
Well, we had a bit of a mismatch earlier on for Brendan Williams, try just stepping around Marcus Horan and Paul Warwick there. Just saw the outside, I think, of Treviso hooker Geraldini and just backed himself. Very little the hooker could have done. You can see him. You can see he actually was calling for help there. Felt very exposed. But Warwick did very well. Saw that there was a mismatch. And Munster don't do panic, but they'll be very relieved to get some points on the board after squandering a couple of opportunities.
That's better. And that is O'Gara taking his Heineken Cup points tally to 1,057. He is top of the pile. But most importantly, he gets the 2 on top of this try.
Yeah, and you just get the feeling that with the try and then the O'Gara conversion, it feels like normal play resumed.
Just these unforced errors, and O'Connell was talking during the week about not quite clicking, not quite being as composed and as clean as he and the team would like, and that does provide, of course, the opportunities.
That's exactly, and you know, they're brutally honest with each other here, and those handling errors, unforced errors, they really have harmed them, and it just gives the opposition a chance to get back into the game.
2 tries already scored by Treviso. Good position for them here. And the scrum working into Munster. Sear. Straight up the middle. But relief for Munster. Kingy there.
I think they come off their feet there, and I think maybe Ronan O'Gara took the brunt of that hit there.
Goosen looks as though he's getting ready to come back on, and it's a very conservative touch find from Ronan O'Gara.
You see 13 coming in from the side, just targeting O'Gara there, taking him out high as well.
He was standing up, and now he's decided to have a little sit down again. So Scarby relieving the Munster pressure by going in the side there. Goosen's currently jotted down as a blood pin, and if he is going to come back on, he needs to come back on a couple of minutes before half-time. Leary. Anybody's ball. Quinlan deciding to shift it. Maffey. De Villiers. Maffey again, using those fast feet of his. There's a litany of errors coming from this Munster side, and it'll frustrate them as much as anyone else.
Yeah, so it's just maybe the communication breakdown. Good tackle coming in by Scarby on Jean de Villiers, but you know, Quinlan throwing the ball out there, cutting out O'Gara from the phase. You know, O'Gara's the better passer, the snappier passer. Need to have the key players making those key decisions and actually playing the roles. And what's interesting in the lineouts is that they have gone consistently to Donegal O'Callaghan at the front of the lineout. And that's great because they are winning their own ball, but it's at the front of the lineout. They're in the very narrowest channel here, and they have very few options off the back of that. Invariably, Thomas O'Leary is having to put the box kick up, but you know, you just get the feeling to develop their play, they need to hit the middle or the back of the lineout, bring the likes of Alan Quinlan in, so that they can actually get on the front foot and get Maffey and de Villiers up the middle of the pitch. But maybe they're worried about the throwing in of Fogarty. You just don't know what's at play behind the decisions to keep on going to the front of the line out.
So all 6 to O'Callaghan in the line out. McLean deep. Munster deciding to hit this one high into the air. Williams waits. Howlett's after him. He is a slippery customer, isn't he? And he'll get the penalty for the high tackle. No malice involved. Howlett looks for eye contact with Williams and acknowledges his error.
Yeah, it's not in Doug Howlett's style, but Williams has done exceptionally well, both under the high ball and also ball in hand. He's been very sharp, good feet. Again, I think a fair bit of self-preservation there, trying to get away from Howlett's tackle. Doug is in full flight there, but leading arm just coming a little bit too high. Again, just not really hitting the sternum, just coming in higher than that. And a good decision by the referee.
Shows such hunger time and time again, doesn't he, Doug Howlett? Not he, a man who comes over just to earn a bit of European money up from the Southern Hemisphere. Munster through Wallace. He, of course, just getting into full stride as well. Murphy and Howlett deciding to ship it on, and that's much better from Munster. As soon as you say that, it breaks down. And Howlett now has to go screaming back for a very difficult ball. He looked uncomfortable there.
Well, I don't think, looking at the pictures there, that Dougie Howlett will play much more role in this game. As he was flying back, you just see a little bit of a grimace on the face. But again, another unforced error. And Howlett was limping before he actually made that chase back. So did incredibly well.
Well, bravery through pain, no doubt. He's practically on one leg. Oh, hopping his way to the ball, because he knew that that might have been another try for Treviso.
Well, you just said there, Will, about coming across here and playing and giving 100% rather than just picking up a pay packet. And there you see what it means to Doug Howlett. He had clearly pulled something well before the kick had actually gone through there, but showed tremendous heart to get back.
Dowling's now on for Doug Howlett, and he comes on at a time and a place in which Treviso will be so much more happy. That close.
And interesting that the best play of the game from Munster so far actually came from the first line out, which went to Paul O'Connell in the middle.
Goosen is back on and Cortez leaves. What trickery from the training pitch. Can Treviso bring the perfect position now to try and cut Munster for the third time? Hurting them up front. Will they ask for the scrum once again?
I think you've got to go for another scrum here. Clearly in the ascendancy.
And what a challenge Treviso have laid down to Munster here. 10 points to 7 up. 2 tries to 1 up. Getting the nudge in the scrum and having a real go at Munster. It comes out and Kingy picks up. Quinlan was there for him. Referee says play on. Munster wanted more. And Munster now get what they desire, which is a chance to clear their lines.
I think Dennis Fogarty will be the player to get the pat on the back there. Tackle was made, and really, there you see, the tap on the head from Quinlan to Fogarty. Got in on the ball. Forced Treviso to actually hold on to it in the tackle.
So 3 points behind Munster, 2.5 minutes to go to half-time. And no doubt there will be plenty to say from the Munster coaching team. He pulls the trigger, and O'Connell, brilliant one hand, plucks that from the air. De Villiers is getting ready to chase, and up it goes from O'Leary. Simonzato looking for it. Munster pouring into that. Treviso, though, holding firm, and immense credit going to them in the way they played in this first 40. Wallace, but they won't get a chance, Munster, to launch a counter. Ball going straight out.
Again, we spent the first 25 minutes watching O'Callaghan take every ball on the line out. The last 2 have been taken by O'Connell. Third one again here.
No, wait. I manage the gap, you play.
Just wonder whether there's been a slight you know, a shift in thinking, trying to just crank it up slightly and put a little bit more pressure on this Treviso sort of 10, 12, 13 axis.
Stay.
A minute then for Munster to try and level or get themselves into the lead as we close out the first 40. O'Gara looking inside and he finds O'Callaghan. Buckley, cut down there by Garcia, who wasn't held, so has another go. And what a drive that is, O'Connell steering him up to the 22. O'Leary, O'Callaghan. These great men of Munster getting their hands on the ball now. O'Gara spinning it wide, and they might just have numbers. Maffey straightening and bashing. Leary delaying the pass. Ever closer now, Munster. Maffey inside, O'Connell.
Beautiful hands from Maffey.
O'Gara shoveling that one on. Leamy. Munster keeping this ball alive, trying to take their opportunity, trying to press home the advantage in the Treviso 22. Maffey's getting through a lot of work as we work our way into 10 phases. O'Gara, Leamy, and the ball not coming. Illegal, and so O'Gara is going to get a gilt-edged chance to level the scores with the last play. O'Gara's taken it quickly. It was Munster that were caught napping in Franklin's Gardens by Geraghty, but Treviso were aware of that. O'Connell. O'Leary. Still trying to cut this Treviso line. Really close now. Turning down the offer of 3 points. They want 5, possibly 7. And of course the lead. And again, Munster go. Treviso line up, but this is big pressure being exerted by Munster. O'Leary, little chip through. So on the bounce of the ball, oh, brilliant! Absolutely brilliant! Ian Dowling didn't wait for the bounce of the ball. He thinks he's caught it. The referee isn't quite sure.
Well, when Ronan O'Gara tapped that ball, you thought that's a big, big decision. But if it comes off, it's a fabulous one. And you look at Darling, has he got it? That's an extraordinary juggling act, and I think that is 5 points.
Off his shins.
Well, we had people in stilts before the game, Will, with Munster shirts on, and I think we now have a juggling act there. And it's the first bit there as to whether it's hit the ground. First of all, underneath
he was
his
in
elbow.
control.
Oh, I think that somehow Ian Dowling has managed to just snatch that ball.
Daniel Guillet of France, the video ref, taking his time. And what a big decision this is proving to be.
Well, I think it
Treviso
hinges really
10-7 up at the moment.
It hinges on what the video ref thinks just at the start of that catch.
Munster confident, back inside their own half.
Okay, it's simple. Okay.
The crowd tell you, the referee tells you, Munster take the lead. Last weekend, the French champions Perpignan beaten, and now in the last play of the first 40, Munster just knows their way ahead. And over their shoulders now, O'Gara will be pleased to feel a reasonable size breeze, but it would have been a fairly tasty half-time discussion, no doubt, particularly in the Munster changing room. Treviso, if they hoped before the game started, will now believe that they can cause the greatest upset in the history of the competition. From their own line, Garcia, De Villiers, Warwick, straight.
Yes, and Ronan O'Gara, he knows his horses and he likes a flutter, but that gamble at the end of the first half really gave Munster the extra breather that they needed going in at half-time, and Ian Dowling with his hands on the ball there. It's great when you can bring on such a nuggety little competitor like that for the likes of the class act that is Doug Howlett.
How Munster would love inside the first couple of minutes to give themselves some clear water. Just 2 points at the moment. O'Connell just double checking, making sure it's got to be clean from Fogarty. Of course, in for Flannery, who tore his calf this week. The Munster forwards getting going. That's how close they are. Just a couple of metres now. Treviso can just wait. And now they buckle. Leamy. Immediately, Munster strike.
Well, we said one of the hallmarks of Munster rugby is that invariably they get down into an opposition 22 and come away with points. Another aspect of their play is that when others are maybe looking at the clock coming up to half-time, or maybe just switching off after they come out after half-time, Munster are very, very good at really attacking and exposing any lack of concentration either side of half-time or at the end of a match. And the forwards took control, and you see Dennis Leamy with Fogarty and with Quinlan just pile driving him from behind there, giving him all the momentum and impetus he needed to get the ball down. There's nothing that Treviso could have done there.
O'Gara unusually ropey in the first half with his kicking at the uprights. And it's not quite happening for him, but 17-10 feels much better for this 26,000 crowd.
It does, and Ronan O'Gara's own performance probably mirrors a lot of the frustrations that filter through the side. But Tony McGann, I would say he probably just said to the players at halftime, just don't panic, let's just keep our composure. Let's play our rugby in the parts of the ground that we want to, and let's take our chances.
The wind just holding that ball up a little bit to give the Treviso forwards a chance to get up and make the tackle. And there's the depth of the kick. All the way back then for the scrum. And the wind working against O'Gara. Nasty little kick on.
Yeah, and there's certainly a little bit of a breeze that's just got up over half-time, which will be at the backs of the Munster players. So again, O'Gara hit that quite nicely, but just the breeze taking it a little bit too far.
It is a wonderful ground, isn't it? This development is immense.
It's one of the great centres of European rugby, and the amount of drama and theatre that they've had here over the years, extraordinary.
Taken quickly by Kingy, the free kick going to Treviso from that scrum. Simonzato feeds. And again, Goosen. Garcia, held up by De Villiers. The South African World Cup winner was ready for him there.
Play advantage.
And O'Connell right in the thick of the jungle. Treviso forwards get the ball to the deck.
Move away, number 4. The line.
Looks well marshalled, the defence from Munster at the moment. Goosen very deep, looking for the drop goal. Didn't seem to hit that one with real conviction, did he? Just tried to nudge it through.
Yeah, it was just a little short stab at the ball. Didn't get through it, and his kicking boots haven't been with him in that first half either. And again, when you think two missed conversions and a penalty going awry, that's 7 points that Treviso left out here in the opening 40 minutes.
Pavanello will be so pleased and buoyed by the first 40. They know they got to keep in touch with this red machine. Connell going up. Callahan can't quite get hold of it. He was ready to snaffle it. Vermaak shifting it. Goosen. Oh, it's on here. Wilt. De Villiers gets back to make Andy Wilt cut back inside, the ex-Northampton player. Just knocking that one on. Garcia. Scrum to Munster.
Well, Treviso had a few players out wide there, and Ian Dowling made the decision to come in. You see him running in, trying to take the man and ball, trying to snuff out that attack, but the Treviso player did very well to get the ball away out of contact.
No Doug Howlett, remember, just his hamstring. And so Dowling takes his place. Lugara drilling that one all the way downfield. Wilt's there, but it's quite a way back for McLean. Good strike, mind you. Lugara winging it infield. Warwick deciding to have a run. He's seen the gavel so close. Garcia deciding to jib it, and Williams is flying upfield. Warwick's not happy. And he got a bump on the head.
He backed himself against Goosen there. And Goosen did well just to really, I suppose, click his heels. He took a big hit there as he went to ground. But Warwick, I mean, if you were going to give an award for an overseas player of the year last year, I mean, Warwick absolutely would have been in the running for it. A tremendous signing for Munster, and having him at 15, he can also slot into 10. You've got a very good ball player, good kicker, and senses a gap as well, and a really useful addition to this Munster side.
Oh, the eyes are watering there. Buckley's not happy either. Munster all set.
Hey! You're offside on the beginning of the line out.
So relief for the 2006-2008 champions.
You're offside on the beginning of the line out. Okay? Yes.
So
Captain.
Buckley now.
Speaking now, it's enough.
Leaving the pitch, and of course Marcus Horan has been substituted. So on comes Darragh Hurley. Of course, 8 on the bench, 2 props and a hooker.
It's enough.
O'Gara. That's better. Munster, they've reached the knockout stages for the last 11 years. And actually they often lose a pool game, but only one. They are surely men of steel, but they're being tested here. Oh, Pavanello getting his hand there and stealing it.
Heads up, heads up!
Simonzato to Goosen.
No!
It's time. Hoist that one up. A little bit too far, so
Okay.
a chance for Munster. And now O'Gara to pass it actually to Warwick. Oh, that's high. Oh, brilliant take. Oh, he has knocked it on. Right at the end, has he? The referee says no, I saw that.
Well, he did so well to start off with, because Paul Warwick had put snow on that high ball. But just after doing all the hard work, just let the ball go on the ground. And a good spot by the referee. But you're saying about Munster and their record in this competition. I mean, they're masters of navigating their way through the pool stage.
And 3 fresh faces come into the Italian Treviso front row in terms of Vidal, Alori and Di Santo. So, 4 new props.
Here.
2 from each side.
Good binding.
Half an hour left to play. And Treviso having another go at the Munster scrum. And you can imagine those 3 sitting on the bench, chuntering away to each other, saying, oh, I want to get out there.
Well, they 50 minutes from the front row, they've done a good job, you know, in their time on the pitch, and certainly lays down a standard and a marker for the replacements coming on for them.
And not straight, as Munster get a little bit more adventurous with the line out. Callahan taking all those line outs in the first half.
Yeah, there was certainly no problem in the first half, but as we got towards the end of the 40 minutes, O'Connell was being hit in the middle, then one at the back of the line out, but all of a sudden Treviso either beginning to disrupt it or pressure coming under the jumper and the thrower.
Goosen driving that one low. Warwick well positioned. And look at the poise that he shows to dink that one deep into the heart of the Treviso 22. The crowd appreciate it, and they can smell something, and they're getting noisier.
Judged to perfection, and just as Warwick trots back there, Donegal, Callahan just give him a little pat, and you'd expect the forwards to now try and dominate, make the most of this territory.
Open, red!
Massive pressure being applied by Callahan. Connell goes back to make sure the ball is Munster's. O'Leary now waiting, and Wallace lurking. Is this Munster engine beginning to fire? Quinlan now. Leary, O'Gara, Maffey deciding to take it to contact himself. He slips out of the tackle with a nice back of the hand pass. It's now relentless through O'Connell. Brick by brick they're loosening this Treviso wall. De Villiers inside from Quinlan. Oh, that's quite superb! Quite superb! In the corner, Dennis Bergerty. That is a beautifully worked try. The bonus point comes. And now this crowd can breathe easy.
Yeah, of course, it's a bonus point try as well, which we would never have imagined 2 minutes before, before half-time when Darling went in. But here we see again, Maffey, lovely hands. The offload here out of the side. They recycle the ball. Again, that tight 5, really getting into the game. But here we see the quality of Paul Warwick again, the inside line off Quinlan, and then gets the ball out wide. Dennis Fogarty loitering with intent out in the touchline, but beautiful play from Warwick and good finish from Fogarty.
And Quinlan knew exactly what he was doing as well, didn't he?
He did. He just held the ball up perfectly. Again, good line, good pace from Warwick.
tough attempt, that.
And of course, we can't forget that Donnacha O'Callaghan there, the man in the picture, managed to poach the line out deep in the Treviso 22. Got that right hand to the ball. He had patted Paul Warwick earlier on and just said, right, I'll take over now. Quinlan takes the contact, and Warwick knows where the space is. It's on the outside, and he's got a player in Fogarty.
Treviso feel that they need to get back into this game. It's been one heck of a second half so far from Munster, and the errors are beginning to creep in. Semenzato knocking that one on.
If you win the ball, it's a good advantage. Number 2, Ed. 2, Ed, please. Go. Time off.
And so Fogarty leaves his mark on the scoreboard before he leaves the match. And Farley comes on to make his Heineken Cup debut.
I think Fogarty will be pleased with his contribution in the 55 minutes in the pitch. Generally, the lineouts went well, although the safe option was used most of the time. But getting that try will again do a huge amount of confidence.
Gara punching that one low. Dowling's after it. McLean has nowhere to go except for the touchline, but Munster have taken this one quickly.
Well, that would have been the best possible way to introduce yourself on your first appearance at Thomond Park. If the Villiers had managed to get in there.
Open, please. Open, no. Open.
O'Callaghan cleaved one already, and he'll no doubt fancy this one as well. Brilliant from Munster. Munster showing the form, attitude and hunger that has taken them to a couple of titles. They sometimes start a little bit slowly, don't they? But you can just feel the momentum beginning to build.
Yes, and having scored the tries, what you also can sense is just that extra spring in the step, in their chase, in their defensive line. So it's sort of that confidence seeps into every facet of the play, and all of a sudden it becomes an irresistible momentum, which just slightly throttles the opposition. And again, O'Callaghan in the line out. He's reading it very well at the front and having a bigger and bigger role in this game as it goes on. You see O'Callaghan's there, and the own line-outs one is impressive enough, but it's been those two line-out steals that have been crucial. One leading directly to a try, and then the other just a minute or so ago. But again, credit again to the lifters, getting them up into the air, giving them the foundation to actually be able to challenge for the ball.
Barbieri is replacing Van Zyl. Van Zyl, the line-out maestro for Treviso, so the hill gets ever steeper for Treviso, and oh, look at that from Munster. Zato's frustrated. Quinlan having a look. Teasing. And you feel the irresistible wave of pressure is now going to break through once more. 22-10. Connor. The ball was fired aggressively at him. He took it. And yet again, Munster getting ready for their charge at this Treviso line again. Leary with the pass. O'Gara. De Villiers. Can't quite find Maffey. Williams just hacking that one away.
No advantage, no corner.
Talked about the centres not quite gelling. There's quite a lot of people unconvinced by how the two are getting on in the centres.
Six red.
De Villiers, of course, he's a world-class player.
Yes, there's no question about the individual quality and merits of either player, but it's really just more a case of that communication and the partnership in the centre there. Maffey loves running with the ball in his hands, loves hitting gaps and getting the ball out of contact. But really the two of them have not been combining as maybe Tony McGann would have hoped, but still really learning, I suppose, from each other, and that's the challenge for the pair of them in the, still in an early stage of the season.
Come on here. No, here.
Munster crowd giving Quinlan a huge applause, appreciating the finer things of life.
Stay banding.
Kingy and Simonzato at the base of this scrum.
No.
Goosen, Warwick, Dowling. Dowling looking to manage Treviso back again. McLean very well positioned.
No, number 10, no.
O'Gara.
No, move away.
Simonzato was looking for support and he finds it in Vilk. He scored that very good try, kept his cool. A difficult pickup in the first half. Goosen.
No, 8.
There's no chasers whatsoever. Munster can take their time if they want. All on the bounce now. Immaculate.
Well, we haven't seen too much of Keith Earls in this game, really. I mean, we haven't had much cause to mention him, but again, a little example of his quality. Usually we're used to the dancing feet and a terrific pace, but there we see the kick absolutely judged to perfection. And again, I think Donegal Callahan might fancy himself in this again.
There the hands, ready for stealing. Vidal throws, and Treviso do well.
Stay! Stay, no, keep the line!
Connell trying to get a hand on that, but the sanctuary of the touchline is only temporary as he boots it off.
Time off! Time off!
Well, here we see, I suppose, when Munster have really done their damage. Treviso, the first 25 minutes, really lived off Munster's mistakes.
Okay. No,
just
wait.
10 minutes before half-time,
no.
And particularly those two tries on either side of half-time really killed Treviso off.
12.
Referee saying there's going to be a substitution, and it is Fraser Waters, 2 Heineken Cup winners' medals, man of the match in 2007, final against Leicester. Right into it. Munster with the charge down. Oh! Living on the edge. Vidal.
Well, Niall Ronan did very well there. Cleared up the missed line out. And then managed to charge down the kick.
So Leary, he's saying don't try that, sunshine. Well, the referee needs a little clarification.
Wait the video.
Well, I'm not sure why the ref has actually gone to the TMO there. It was the ball bounced back, which caused a fair amount of panic, and it was like a huge block of concrete falling on the ball, but he did get his body on top of it.
And as we all suspected, 22, there's a big screen here at Thomond Park, everybody can see. The players look up and check to see what's going on.
I think maybe the referee was checking whether maybe been carried over the line maybe for the 5-metre scrum or the 22.
Leamy wasn't anywhere close to that. We continue. Taken by Elzo, he's away! Oh, brilliant! Semenzado's trying to cut him down. O'Connell knocks it on. The referee says, play on, O'Connell. No! Didn't knock it on. Wallace took it over.
No! Look, there's a ball.
Brilliant break. Magnificent. From Keith Earls.
Well, the smiles are on the faces. And Keith Earls did a great clearing up job. Just backed himself. Great pace off the mark. And a tremendous step. And here you're just thinking Paul O'Connell's going to be talking about his try in the changing rooms. But David Wallace gets up and I think gives a smile. But here we see the step off the left foot. Fantastic power.
Maybe O'Connell's getting old, didn't even get down to it.
You just wonder whether O'Connell's fingertips might have actually made contact with the ball, but David Wallace will not mind.
Now he gets it. And the scoreline looks pretty convincing, doesn't it? But when Munster talk of the performance, oh, there was a little nudge there, wasn't it?
There was, but I think they'll have a good old joke about it back in the change rooms afterwards. So O'Connell doesn't get to score too many. And David Wallace will be thanking him for that.
Warwick to clear their lines.
Play on!
Goosen.
No, 7 white!
Paul Warwick again, great kick, and having such good kicker. 15 offers so many
Keep the line.
So many good opportunities to both clear your line, come into the line, put rubber kicks through. And again, it's a mark of this side. Look at the quality coming off the bench. Peter Stringer there, up there, 4th in the most appearances, and over 90 caps on an Ireland shirt, and one of the toughest competitors you will get.
Foley, the technical assistant. John Hayes sitting it out. He's banned at the moment. So Mick O'Driscoll, over 10 years of Heineken Cup rugby to his name, taking over from O'Callaghan, who's been so smart in the line-out and powerful around the pitch.
No way!
Treviso will feel they deserve more than just the 2 tries that they took in the first 40 minutes. Up to halfway now. Treviso making ground inch by inch. They've only won once in the last 3 seasons of Heineken Cup rugby, and that was last weekend, and surely one of the biggest shocks in the Heineken Cup, beating the French champions.
Well, they'll want to just try and keep hold of the ball for a while, go through the phases, get a bit of possession, spend a bit of time down in this Munster half, because they've been under the cosh, all of this second half.
Bilt knew what was coming, and he did extremely well to time his tackle on Keith Earls, because Earls has already shown what a difficult man.
And every time he comes into this game, you can just feel a real expectancy in the crowd. You know, he gets them going. They expect something a little bit special, and he certainly, in that lead up to the David Wallace try, produced something exceptional in that sidestep, which just propelled him into space. You just see it off the left foot, bang, and just absolutely left the Treviso defender for dead.
Number 10. Number 10. Who is the captain now? The same, number 4.
So fresh legs being used. Goosen goes off, and Peter Stringer for Munster. 91 caps for his country. Equals Fabian Pelusi's appearance record in the Heineken Guns. 81.
Stay banding!
Doesn't quite find Williams. It finds Munster, and Dowling. The party can begin. It's try number 6. And after the wobbles of the first half, it's looking very emphatic now.
Yes, and Treviso being forced to chase the game. And if Alan Quinlan is the master poacher in the pack, Ian Dowling just sniffs around and really does very well putting pressure on an opposition side. Good pick-up and good finish, and he's really strong and powerful. Very difficult to stop once he gets ahead of steam up. And another good finish, which really, you know, just adds the gloss to this second half.
Since Early is now on for Keith Earls. O'Connell. Everyone's blinking twice, can't quite believe what they've seen there.
Scrum wide.
I'll be disappointed again. You just look. Well, I think both the expression on the face and maybe the word that was uttered.
Blast.
Shows the frustration, high
Maybe
standards.
Just his second start back.
Stay.
So getting himself up to full speed. Fraser Waters. Back from injury. Semenzato. Zani.
Away.
Penalty taken quickly. Semenzato nearly there, needs to make sure it comes back his side's way. Now rare pressure for Treviso. The referee not liking that.
Yeah, and you just mentioned about it's Paul O'Connell's second start, and you know that's been one of the reasons that Munster really struggled to get into top gear, you know, at the start of the season. And the downside of having so many players on the Lions squad and then losing the likes of Flannery and O'Leary also to injury is that they've had to filter them back into play, and you know they're not probably quite up to match speed yet, and that got exposed against Leinster 2 weeks ago. Leinster put in just a complete performance. It got exposed in the first half last week against Northampton, but certainly as that second half wore on, you got the feeling that they looked a little bit more like the Munster of old, and it will take a bit of time, but certainly for Declan Kidney as well, the autumn internationals coming up, you can just you know, it'll only be 2-3 more games, and then they'll be having to be up to full speed for the internationals. But probably delighted with that away bonus point last week, and the fact that they had Treviso this week might have been a little bit different than Perpignan becoming here today, but the way the draw has played out, it's actually suited Munster.
And that pick-up suited Treviso. Wallace had no option.
No fun, Red.
Now Fraser Waters in the thick of it, in the backs, getting ready to see if they can cut Munster should the ball come back their way. Get it first. Munster are being as miserly as they can, as is their way. Gara. Vilk. Williams, the Australian Sevens international, with a bit of space, bounces his way past one. Inside 10 minutes now, left to play in this very entertaining game. Dowling.
They're very entertaining and certainly enjoyable for the crowd, but it wasn't in the opening 30 minutes because there was so much tension in the air because Munster just simply couldn't get the ball across the line and were making lots of uncharacteristic handling errors, but they'll be much more relieved now. They've put pressure on Treviso, they've converted a few opportunities and you know, just building up their level of performance, and they will get better as this season unfolds.
Kingy with his great pause on the ball. Fraser Waters waits for the box kick to go up. Waters and Vilk. Connell, well, he gets back so quickly to help his backs. Maffey. De Villiers shipping it on. Beautiful pass as well. Hurley chipping it. He gets it as well, trying to keep in field. Did extremely well.
There we saw just a little flash from John De Villiers. Absolutely lovely quick hands. And Hurley did very well. Well-weighted kick and tried his best to stay in field.
Dennis Hurley started the 2008 Heineken Cup final, which of course they won.
Open, please.
A lovely pass from De Villiers, and you know, it's as I said at the start, you know, these Munster boys, they're brutally honest with each other, and the pack have blamed themselves for not giving the sort of ball and not providing the opportunities for the backline, which really has an embarrassment of riches here. But you know, they have certainly, through Donegal Callaghan, for example, in that line out, they put the pressure on Treviso and given a few more opportunities that the backs haven't had in the last few weeks.
Number 8, red.
Well, Perpignan did Northampton 29-13 on Friday night. Those two, of course, in the joining Munster and Treviso in Pool 1. And Munster, if they do close this game out, will go top of the pool from being bottom at the start of the match.
The number, please. One more.
Treviso still going hard at Munster, up to halfway.
Back.
What a performance they put in.
Back.
Williams, who's been sparky all day. Semenzato. Waters deciding to straighten and meets Maffey, but bounces Maffey. Maffey again going in to make the hit. Treviso managing to put the ball through the hands, but still fighting for the gain line. Now well over it. Could hardly get their way past the halfway line, but now a hearty finish from the Treviso side. Inside, Megara making the tackle. Part involved anyway. McLean, Waters. De Villiers had the angle and the attitude to cut him down. Zani. McLean. De Villiers is trying to steal the ball. Brilliant from De Villiers. Knew the tackle had been made. He went hunting for possession of the ball, and this is the result. O'Gara taking it to the line, and O'Gara makes the break. Just needs to time the pass and make it accurate enough. Wallace, O'Gara, Munster are having some fun now. Just need to finish it off. O'Gara didn't quite have the wheels, did he, to finish that off? Turnover. And Treviso pump it back. As far as Bunion, no drop goal. Nothing extraordinary, but maybe something pretty special from Muffy. Dowling inside, Leamy. This is better. This is De Villiers. Welcome to Thomond Park.
It's just the perfect script. You thought they could have just walked the ball in earlier on. I think Ronan O'Gara just felt absolutely knackered. And then they recycled the ball, they got it back. And John De Villiers' first appearance at Thomond Park, and just listen to the reception.
This is the induction that he receives.
Where you see Warwick unleashed O'Gara, and you just thought on the inside line there, Dennis Hurley was flying up on the inside. But dogged resistance again from Treviso. You have to give them credit for what they've contributed to this game. But Rods just ran out of steam. But there, you know, a perfect ending for John De Villiers.
He can now feel at home and settled. The World Cup winner, the Tri-Nations winner, and Lions winner, De Villiers now Munster winner at Thomond Park. O'Gara, it doesn't matter today, but he knows how important the kicks might be in future games. Who's your Heineken man of the match, Tyrone?
Well, I mean, it hasn't been the greatest performance from Munster despite the scoreline. Donegal Callaghan was certainly up there for the award. Good line out, particularly in the first half, set good targets for Fogarty, and then in the second half. But there is my Heineken man of the match, Paul Warwick. From start to finish, he has been a model of consistency and excellence. He's handled well, he's kicked well, he's stepped into the first receiver position, and he's contributed a lot to various tries that Munster have scored in this game.
O'Gara, one bounce and in. Well, that first 40 minutes was certainly challenging for Munster. Trailing for 39 or so of those minutes.
Yes, it was, and what will, well, I suppose a double-edged sword. They'll be frustrated, but at the same time they will also acknowledge that they let Treviso into the game through their own errors. So, you know, get rid of those errors, and all of a sudden you don't let the opposition side build up a head of steam.
But crucially, they will feel they are progressively getting better. They're improving, and they are very well positioned in this Pool 1 now.
Yes, they are, and we hadn't seen much from their backs in the last couple of weeks, but what we've seen today is a few glimpses of the potential, and if the pack can start really operating as an aid, both in scrum and line-out time, and give that intensity, get the ball recycled quickly, you know, we know that these backs can do a lot of damage.
Good pick up from Vilken. Excellent power from him. A target provided from the forwards, but here's the turnover, and there might just be another try.
Time off, yes or no?
For Munster. 7 tries on the board already. Wallace, O'Connell. It was forward, and the referee says that'll do for today. Munster get cooking now. The scoreline is emphatic. They are beginning to build in this competition.
Well, a win was everything. They had to get 4 points. They didn't even mention the bonus point, and it took them a while to warm up in the first half. But certainly, Munster will be delighted with that second half performance. Put the heat on, scored lots of points, lots of tries, and that will build confidence as they look forward to round 3 and 4.
That full-time score might look emphatic, but full respect to Treviso that did test Munster in the first 40 minutes. But the final score goes to the men from Thomond Park. 41-10 they win in the end.